Hey guys, welcome back to the MangaMark channel, and today I'm just doing a video just putting my thoughts and feelings out there and my predictions or theories or questions that I have about One Piece. If you have just discovered this channel and you don't know what I'm doing on it, then I am watching One Piece for the first time on the channel, and I have just finished Enies Lobby. So just finished Enies Lobby, and I thought I would do this little video to just kind of touch base and be like, right, here's where I think certain things are going. Here's some questions I have about the series based on because War 7 Enies Lobby, in that span of time since I did the last time speaking about this, there's been so much information revealed, so much characters information, and I just want to some of it will be predictions, some of it will be this is what I want to find out, this is what I want to know in the future, and just a general thing, just to kind of talk about it, so that you guys have a better understanding of where my headspace is at with the series and how I've kind of processed all of the information that we kind of got in the series, and how maybe some of the new information has made me kind of change my thoughts on maybe previous things that were brought up in the series. So yeah, just kind of like that, right? So I'm just going to get into it and just start talking about One Piece, guys, and then I'll even as I'm going, maybe things will start popping into my head where I'll start throwing other things out there. And what I'm going to do is the same as the previous where I did the bounty predictions video. I'm going to do the same for this one, in which I am not going to look at the comments of this video, right? So I think that's just a recipe for disaster, to look at the comments in a kind of prediction theories video, especially when you guys are up to date with the series and I'm 700, 800 episodes behind you. It's not a good idea. So you guys have free reign in the comments. Go crazy in the comments. Call me an idiot in the comments and say this guy doesn't have a clue. He's clearly wrong about this. Because I won't I'll go back to reading the comments in the next videos and engage with you guys about the series. But this one, I will not. So you can go in there. You can say whatever you want on this video. Just this one, right? Because I'll be back in the comment section in the next one, right? So we're clear there, right? So if you have been following the channel for a while, you will know that one of the biggest predictions that I've had for a long time, that I put my house on it at one point, and I was like, I think this is a definite thing that's going to be revealed, was that I thought that Goldie Roger was the father of Nico Robin. Now, I have been saying that. I can't even remember when I started that. I was probably in Skypiea, maybe. Or did in fact, yeah, probably, because I didn't know much about Robin in Alabasta when she was Miss All Sunday. So probably Skypiea. And I think that maybe that message that Roger had left on the Golden Bell next to the poneglyph, I think that probably made it that kind of, enforced it for me, where I was like, oh, see, this is it, okay, Goldie Roger can read this writing that only Robin can seem to read, that. And the timing of when she got her bounty and stuff, I put, I bet everything on that. I thought I was ahead of the game. I thought I was right, everybody's going to be so impressed that I've called this so early, right? That's turned out not to be the case, right? Well, right, let's just say this. It's highly unlikely, right? Because we actually don't have confirmation of Robin's dad, right? But based on the way they were talking, on O'Hara, and the conversation with her mum and stuff, yeah, doesn't seem very likely anymore. So I have to kind of swallow that one and just be like, okay, was wrong there. Fair enough, right? So with that, I'm kind of like, okay, but it's we got a few family revelations in these this arc, this saga, we should call it, right? Because one of the biggest, the thing I was curious about as well was Luffy's background. Luffy's background, and obviously, because as we got away from the start of the series, the Straw Hats backstories became more and more involved, and we got obviously, I'd say the first one that really hit for me was Sanji's. The backstory of him and Zeph. Whereas, up until that point, Luffy, Zoro, and Usopp had kind of very brief, very quick, right here's what happened. And when I went back, when I was doing the kind of arc review, for the first couple of arcs, when I read the manga, I was really surprised at how quick Zoro's was. At least they gave it an episode in the anime, but in the manga, it's it's so brief. It's a few panels that you get, and it's not even the chapter. It's it's crazy that is how brief a backstory you get for Zoro. So yeah, starts with Sanji, and then from there it's oh my god, Nami's, and just bang, then choppers, Jesus, and every backstory since then has been an absolute banger. Devastating, they've been devastating, but bangers, right? But Luffy's family, that was a great reveal, a great reveal, especially since it involved two characters that, saying that as well, the reveal of Ace in Alabasta was already brilliant, the fact that he has a brother. And I was happy, I was like, oh, this is great, right? So, fantastic. But it makes me think then, because the way they were speaking, they were clear, they spoke about and they joked about their childhood, right? And Ace wasn't there when Luffy met Shanks, right? But Shanks, when he met up with Whitebeard, I think it's quite clear that Shanks knows Ace, right? The way he spoke about it, the way he spoke to Whitebeard about Ace, and obviously about the warning about Blackbeard. So I think that we're probably going to get a more in-depth backstory where we see that. We see more of I believe that we've only got a glimpse of that flashback and obviously the connection that Luffy has with Shanks. I think we're going to get more, and obviously Ace being there. So that's what I want. But the fact that we got the two characters of Garp and Dragon being revealed as the family, and we've known them since the East Blue, both in different capacities. Now, what makes me think about that is, what is the status of what is the in the world government, in the Marines, who knows about that, right? Who knows that Dragon is Garp's son? That's what I've been thinking about, because his men and Kobe, nobody was surprised when he greeted Luffy, so he'd obviously let his men and Kobe and Helmeppo know that Luffy was his grandson, because when he arrived there he said, oh, I have people that want to meet Luffy, right? So he obviously took them to meet him. But when he revealed about Dragon, different story, right? Everybody was surprised. So what's happened there? What's happened there? And how much involvement did Garp and Dragon have on Luffy and Ace when they were young, right? And who is their mother? That's the one for me where I'm like, who's the mum, right? Because that's never been revealed. And where is she and what is she all about? Because, like, obviously, Dragon must have been there when Luffy was born, or maybe just when the mother was pregnant. Like, I'm trying to work out the kind of like the timeline of when Dragon became a revolutionary. Right? When did he start this crusade? Because it's weird. Like, Garp doesn't seem to hold any animosity towards his son. Like, well, at least that's what I got from the vibe from when he was talking to Luffy. When he met, he was so casual about it. You know, he's just fixing the wall, and he's like, "Oh, I heard you met your dad in Logtown." And Luffy's like, "What? I don't know what you're talking about." So it's strange, right? So I'm thinking, like, do like those like 5 elders, like, do they know about that? Because they seem to be like they've taken notice of Dragon. Like when they had that kind of like world meeting with all the like the leaders of the world were there, that was what they were talking about. Was Dragon. So he's obviously a focal point of the world government. And this is what I want. I want more of that family and like the past of what happened. What is the situation there? You know, I want to see more Luffy. Like basically, just give me an in-depth Luffy backstory. That's what I'm looking for, right? If I get that, I will be very happy. Now, it makes me kind of think of when I was thinking of, when it was revealed to me that Shanks and Buggy were members of Goldie Rogers' crew. So those flashbacks we saw of Shanks and Buggy when they were young pirates, that was on the Pirate King's ship. Now that is insane, right? So, and I want to nail this one on, right? Because it made me think of this. I've thought about this before, but I want to put this out here as a prediction from me, just because of that reveal. I believe it's going to be revealed that Dr. Kureha from Drum was the doctor on Roger's ship, right? I want to say that as like I'm nailing that on as if, right, that's going to be a thing, just because of, you know, and I think I may have mentioned this before, but just because of the way she spoke about Roger, because I believe, right, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, because I'm very sure, I'm not very sure, but I'm I'm very confident in this statement. I believe that she was the first ever person to mention the will of D, right? And she was I also believe that she was the person that revealed to us that Gold Roger's actual name was Gold D. Roger. Or at least she hinted to it, right? So, it was the way she casually said it. Like, I think that someone mentioned, I don't know if it was Dalton or not, but somebody mentioned Gold Roger. And she kind of made it like as if they say, oh, is that what he's calling himself now? Something like that, right? So she seemed familiar with Roger. She's a legendary doctor. I think that, you know, and like, I'm trying to think of like the timeline of when Chopper's flashback happened. because Chopper's like young, so that wasn't long. That's not like in Roger's time. So she could have technically been on Roger's ship, and then once Roger passed away, came back to Drum, right? So that's my thinking there, right? Now, my other thing I was thinking about is when I found out about the level of Shanks, like where he is in the One Piece world, is like one of the 4 emperors who are essentially like one of the 4 strongest pirates in One Piece. It makes me think, what was he doing in the East Blue with that devil fruit that Luffy ate? So, is there more of a deeper meaning to that? Like, why was he there? What purpose did he have in the East Blue? If he is that much of a figure in this world, why would he come to the East Blue? You know? And I understand that he probably back then, he wasn't classed as like one of the 4 emperors. Right? But he's obviously been influential in that world. So I think that what I think is going to happen is, I think we're going to get more, like obviously it's going to tie into the Luffy backstory thing, right? Where I think we're going to get a more in-depth Luffy backstory, and it's going to reveal more about Shanks and why he was there. Why was Shanks on that island? You know? And what, like, having that devil fruit in that box, was there more to that? Like, was that going to be, did they just find it by coincidence? Because, like, the fact that they took it to the East Blue, if I might be wrong, right? You guys can let me know this. But from what I understand, the devil fruits are on the Grand Line, right? Is that right? Because, oh no, wait a minute, I may be wrong there. See, I thought that he must have he brought it to the East Blue, but I may be wrong. Well, that throws that right out the window. Then that train of thought's completely went off, because you know what I was thinking there. I think she got a devil fruit. Alvida got a devil fruit when she was in the East Blue. Oh, okay. So that's but I still believe the devil fruit thing has been null and void, right? And my thought process with it was that everybody else that we met in the East Blue kind of got the devil fruit from like the Grand Line, you know? Because like, when you think about it, been like with Buggy was like the first other person we met with a devil fruit, and now that we know the backstory of Buggy, when he was on that ship and Shanks spooked him and he eating the devil fruit, that was on Roger's ship, so he was clearly in the Grand Line when that happened. And I was thinking, like, obviously Smoker would have been, you know, he was stationed in the East Blue, but he came from the Grand Line. And I can't think of anybody else in the East Blue that had one. Is there? Am I forgetting somebody? I don't think so. No, I think that's it. So that's what I was thinking. There's like, why they've obviously got that, they found that devil fruit in the Grand Line and then brought it to the East Blue, was what I was thinking. But maybe that's not the case because of Alvida. Alvida obviously got her devil fruit in the East Blue, ate it, and changed, and then came after Luffy. So never mind that. But I still believe that there's going to be more to it. There's going to be more to the reason that Shanks was on that island. And it's going to tie into, like, now we know, maybe he has a connection with Dragon. That could be it. But I think we're going to get that. We're going to get more of that, more of like Luffy's family. Maybe something to do with this Dadan character that the mayor mentioned, because that's a mystery that we don't know. There's obviously, and I love that he mentioned that name, because to me that gives me hope, where I'm like, right, we're going to see what this is about, who this is, what this place is about, like, and who's there, right? So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Luffy's hometown, or like where he was raised, that place, there's more going on there, just because of the fact that if that's where that family's from, you know, and obviously the mayor knows Gap from way, like, so obviously that's where like probably Dragon was brought up as well. So if that family, that insane family, comes from there, I think there's more about that place than I realised just now. And Shanks didn't just be there by coincidence. You know, I think he was there for a reason, but I don't know what it is. Right? So that's what I'm thinking right now. I also think, like, I want to know more about Mihawk, because Mihawk just seems like it's strange, right? He has the title of the world's greatest swordsman, but he seems to have this like kind of good relationship with Shanks. And I believe that, based on like what Whitebeard said, like I believe that they were kind of like rivals, you know. But I feel like the way they've interacted, when I saw them when Mihawk showed Shanks Luffy's poster, I think they were kind of like rivals in the same way that, you know, like Kakashi and like Guy from like Naruto, like they were rivals, you know, like it wasn't like hatred towards each other, and now they're on good terms, which is strange because Mihawk technically is working for the world government, and Shanks is one of these emperors. So it makes me think to be like, right, what's the situation? I want to know more about their past, basically, and like what their kind of relationship is. And I understand that Mihawk kind of gave an answer to Shanks to be like, you know, I don't want to fight you. You've got one arm now. He's basically saying there's no fun in it anymore. Like, I'm not going to attack a one-armed guy, you know. But it felt like they had that kind of like mutual respect there. And I like that. And I want to see more of Mihawk, because Mihawk doesn't seem like a bad guy. It's strange. And what I love about him is, and I was really hoping we were going to see him there when we got the new bounties, because the last time when Luffy and Zoro got the bounties, it showed you him with a big smile on his face. So he's obviously rooting for us, you know? He's rooting for us. He saw Luffy and Zoro in the East Blue. He saw the spirit in them. And he obviously, like, you know, he likes them. And I love that. So I love the fact that we have like one of these like warlords who has a favourable impression of us. But in terms of like the other warlords, I believe, right, I think that the next warlord that we're going to go up against is going to be this Fishman one. And I can't remember the name, so I should have brought the name, but it has been revealed, right? But it's basically the guy that is one of the 7 warlords that's a Fishman. I think that's going to be the next warlord we go up against. And it's kind of because, like, the way Kokoro mentioned Fishman Island, and Nami kind of was like, oh, I've got mixed feelings about that, obviously, right? Because of her past. And I think that this warlord is going to hold a grudge against us because of what happened with Arlong, right? So I feel like that's the direction we're heading there. But I want to see as well if Blackbeard is... It's weird, right? he wants to become a warlord, right? Why? Why does he want to become a warlord? It seems strange. And I can't quite put my finger on it to be like, why does he want that? Is it just because of the perks? Like, he can operate, you know, under the world government and kind of like get up to shady stuff as long as they don't find out about it. And then he can, like, basically what Crocodile was doing, where he's can be like put on this public persona of, yeah, I'm a world government sanctioned pirate. You know, like, I'm no threat to you kind of thing, but then he's really doing evil stuff in the background. Is that what he's doing? It makes me think, I'm like, right, what is the kind of bigger picture with Blackbeard? Just because of like how much time he spent waiting for that specific devil fruit. You know? He spent that time on Whitebeard's crew hoping to find this devil fruit. And that's a long game. That's playing the long game to be like, right, I know exactly what devil fruit I want. I'm gonna go for that. Then kill the member of the crew to get it, right? So I'm thinking like there's something more to why he wants to join them. I don't know what it is. I don't know what he wants from it. But he wants something. Right? He's got his eyes on something. I don't know if it's just ambition to be like to get status. You know? To be like one of the 7 warlords and have his name out there. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how that kind of works. And I don't know how the 7 warlords are really viewed in the world of One Piece. If how the world feels about them, because like in Alabasta, before it was revealed who he was, the people of Alabasta seemed to love Crocodile. Like, he was like the hero that they were like, oh yes, Crocodile, he'll save us. But I feel like the pirates of the world of One Piece wouldn't like the warlords because they're like sellouts. You know, that's what basically they're like sellouts, right? And it makes me think, when I meet some of these warlords, it makes me think, so what is their, you know, reason for joining this? And I'm thinking that with Blackbeard, and I'm thinking that with Mihawk. To be like, what's Mihawk getting out of being part of this? Because he doesn't seem like somebody that really cares about it. You know? He followed Don Krieg to like the East Blue. Just on a whim. Must have been bored. Right? You know, like, so what's he getting out of it? Crocodile, it became clear why he did it. You know, he didn't have any intentions of being under the world government. He was doing his own thing and, you know, using that as a kind of like, you know, shield for that. But I'm curious to meet the rest of them, because I feel like you would have a reason to join. And that's like, some of them might be that. It might just be the, right, okay, I can, you know, I don't need to worry about look over my shoulder for the Marines. But then you need to think about the catch of like, you are at their beck and call. You know, like, so if the world government, you know, to give orders, because like, it was described to me as like they are the kind of like, they're like the line of defense against like the 4 emperors. So like, along with like the 3 admirals, then you've got the 7 warlords. That's the kind of like, right, we can use them to combat these 4, you know, crazy guys out there. So it's not all sunshine and roses, you know. Like, so if they have to go up against like a Shanks or a Whitebeard, you know, you're getting called on to be like, right. And that makes the Mihawk Shanks thing even weirder for me, where I'm like, you know, what happens there? What happens if the world government tells Mihawk, right, you know, go and deal with him? Does he say no? Because it seemed like they seemed surprised when he showed up to the meeting that time. And in terms of the meeting, like, I don't think that Kuma guy said a word, right? So I don't know nothing about him. So I couldn't guess there. But Don Flamingo, he seems just a bit mental. So like, what is it? Just I feel like I get the same kind of vibe from him as I get from Crocodile, where it's like he's clearly very shady, and I believe he's using the world government as a kind of smokescreen to get up to some shady stuff, right? But I want to know more about him, obviously. And I think I only have 2 warlords I've still to meet. 3, sorry. I've got 3 I've still to meet. No, wait. Is that right? Crocodile, Mihawk, Kuma, Don Flamingo. Yeah, so I've still got 3. I know one of them's the Fishman. And I don't know the other 2, right? So, and then I know obviously Crocodile has been stripped of it. And it looks like Blackbeard's trying to step into that spot. So, what is the situation in this world of One Piece, guys? These are the kind of like thoughts that I'm having and like trying to process it and trying to just be like, right, let's kind of rationalize how the world works, because I feel like with Water 7 and at like post Enies lobby, you know, all that stuff, what we really got was the world being filled out more, if that makes sense, to be like, here's how the structure of the world government kind of works, here's the kind of ranks of the people, here's how terrible they are, you know, like that what happened in Ohara. And then, you know, like the way they seem to conduct themselves, the way the higher ups and the Marines seem to be, doesn't fill me with confidence in the world government at all. But they're also like a load of good people there. Not a load, but there's a bunch of them. Garp, obviously, Kobe and Helmeppo now, Smoker's there. Aokiji seems like a good guy. You know, and he's an admiral. So there are good ones. But it makes me think, right, and this is the kind of like, this has now became the kind of biggest, like, I want to know more about this situation that I have, is the Void Century. I really want to know about that. And it's, what was Clover going to say? What was Clover going to say before they took him out? Right? The good thing is, because of Robin, we're going to get this information gradually. Right? And that is such a great premise of the show, of being, every time, I'll be excited now, like every time I see a poneglyph. Because I'm going to be like, oh yes, Robin's going to get some more information for us and we'll find out more about this Void Century. Because it's clearly something the world government don't want getting out, right? They're willing to destroy a whole, you know, country for it and, you know, kill like some of the smartest people in the world, basically. That's insane, right? And it's just, they pose no threat except for what they had there. And it's a scary thought, but it makes you think, like, it must be that important. It must be that important that they don't want it getting out. And the fact that he mentioned, before he got killed, he mentioned a kingdom, right? What does that mean? A kingdom. Was it a kingdom that the world government, like, doesn't exist anymore, and the world government just don't want the information about this kingdom getting out to the public? But what could it be? Like, what what world-shaking event could have happened to make them erase like a century from the history books, to just be like, that didn't happen. That didn't exist. No. Nobody knows about this. And they were willing to put that high a bounty on an 8-year-old girl. You know, shady stuff, but we know they're shady at this point, right? We know that. And yeah, guys, it's just, I have loads of these thoughts, and these were just a few where I'm like, I just want to like talk about these and just kind of process where my mind is on certain things in the series. Like, those were a couple of things I thought about kind of as we were leaving Enies lobby. So I think I'll end it there. I will come back and do another one of these down the line when I have kind of like more information, or I can do, you know, I can maybe do like a list of like things that the things I'm most curious about in the series and like my thought process on them. But in terms of them, like from the information we gathered in this arc, or you know, as like a tangent to this arc, those are the things that kind of like were sticking in my head and making me think like, right, what does this mean? What does this going forward? Obviously, it poked a hole in a bunch of my thoughts, you know, like Robin's dad being one of them. But yeah, it's going forward, like the biggest thing probably I say, like immediately, if I could ask for something right now, it would be, give me Luffy's backstory. Give me an in-depth backstory where we see Luffy and Ace when they're young, and like their interaction with Shanks, and like why he was there, and then like obviously the situation with the family, like Gap's relationship with Dragon, like how on good terms are they, how Dragon became the revolutionary, who's Luffy and Luffy and Zoro's got who's Luffy and Zoro's mum, who's Luffy and Ace's mum, and is she still in the world, and is she going to turn out to be like an insane person in this world as well? What, she's going to be one of the four emperors, right? There you go. There's another prediction right now. It's going to be crazy, right? So that's going to be the family, you know, Vice Admiral, hero of the Marines, revolutionary, most wanted man in the world, one of the four emperors, and then kind of like Luffy and Ace just being like we don't know them. You know, oh jeez, and this Dan person, like the family, I want to know all about the family and all about Luffy's like full backstory. And then other than that, obviously, the Void Century, I just want more information on it. Just give me more info on it. Just a little bit, you know. Just give me some of these poneglyphs and let Robin read them and just kind of like chip away at it. Because obviously I feel like that's going to be like a big mystery that we're going to unfold as the series goes on. And that's fine. I prefer that because it kind of gives that excitement, like I was saying, that when we see a poneglyph to be like, oh, what's this going to be? You know? And it kind of makes me think of, when it comes to the Void Century, I feel like the ancient weapons are going to play a part in that. I don't know what part they're going to play, but I feel like the ancient weapons are going to be tied in with the Void Century. Just because like the ancient weapons seem to be documented on these poneglyphs as well. So I feel like at that time period is when these came about, or were discovered, I don't know. But I feel like that's going to tie in there. Because obviously Robin has no interest in them. You know, she could have had the ancient weapons if she wanted them. You know, she's read that information in Alabasta. Doesn't care. She wants to know about the history. She wants to know about the Void Century. because that's what the people that she loved and respected, that's what they were looking for. So yeah, those are my thoughts, guys. Just like a couple of them anyway for like the things that we approached in this arc. I don't want this video to be crazy long like the tier list one was, so I'm gonna kind of like end it here, and then, like I said, I will come back with another one of these probably when I kind of better compose some of the kind of thoughts and feelings. And what I might do is I might come back with I'm going to do like an arc ranking video next, but then I might do like somewhere down the line, I might do like a, right, let's, instead of doing it this way where I'm just kind of like free balling it, I might go back and just go through the arcs and be like, right, this arc here, here's the questions I have now based on the stuff I learned at this point, and then I'll just kind of go through there and give bullet points of, right, so, in a, Arlong Park, just to be like, all right, Arlong Park, I want to know more about, Arlong's past and how he came to be in the East Blue and his connection with this warlord, and obviously, like, because the way it was made out to be as if, like, Arlong was under the warlord, but for some reason was in, I can't remember if they gave me a reason as to why he was in the East Blue, things like that, just to talk about these, like, arc by arc, and my thoughts of, this is what I want to know about this is what I think about that. That's what I'm thinking about doing. That'll probably be a long one, as you can probably tell from these other videos I'm doing. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching the video. If you've made it to the end here, if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so to listen to me geek out about One Piece all the time. I would very much appreciate it. Everyone that has came back, likes, comments on the videos, thank you so much, guys. And like I said at the start of the video, go crazy in the comments, because in this video I will not be reading them, so you guys can go full spoiler mode down there. And thank you again so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.